Okay, so in the previous lesson, we had adjusted all the bone rolls for all the bones on our rig. Now the next step is to simply concentrate on all the finger bones and adjust them so the fingers deform correctly on our character. Now, in order to do this, what we're going to do is go under File, do Save As, and save this as a Rigging Lesson 02 D.blend. Now here we have the armature selected and we are in edit mode on the armature. Make sure that this is on global and this should be set on increment and snapping should be disabled. Let's go ahead and focus in on the hand. Do shift middle mouse button. Go ahead and click on the hand bone and press the period key on our numpad to home in on the hand and go ahead and just zoom out. Now I'm going to explain to you a few things over here before we start to get into this. This is going to be important when you're dealing with complex objects like this. First, what I want you to do is go ahead and click on the figure and turn off the armature. The first thing that you should notice is that when you're dealing with 3D objects, you always have to be mindful of perspective. Notice that over here, the wrist is actually above the tips of these fingers, right? The tips of the fingers are over here, and the wrist is above. So if we press the 7 key to go to the top view and press the 9 key to go to the bottom view, we're actually seeing the same behavior. The tips of these fingers are closer to us, and the wrist is away from us. If you press the 5 key to go into perspective view, you can actually see this happening, right? The tips of the fingers are a little larger. So I'm going to press the 5 key to go to the bottom view. So this means that in order to see this, the bottom of the hand correctly, we would actually have to do the middle mouse button and actually kind of rotate it this way, right? Now press the 7 key and press the 9 key again. Go ahead and turn the armature back on. Now you'll notice that this is the same behavior when it comes to the armature. So go ahead and zoom in over here. We're going to look at this finger over here. Basically, go ahead and switch to edit mode. Now, of course, you want to click on the palm bone, press the shift key down, click on this bone, this bone, this bone, and then do shift H to hide everybody. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and turn off the figure and press the A key to deselect. Notice that if we want to work with these 3 bones, we have to do the middle mouse button and actually look at them kind of like this directly from the bottom to adjust them correctly, right? If we press the 7 key and press the 9 key, you don't want to work with your bones like this because you're just going to be going in circles because you're not actually adjusting the positions correctly because we're not looking at them directly like this. Now, notice that if we press the 1 key, notice that how the bones are completely straight, so we of course have to give them a bit of a curve. But we won't want to do it this way. We have to do the middle mouse button and kind of rotate it so it's aligned correctly so we can see what's going on. So if we turn on the figure, you'll see that what's actually happening over here, okay? So just keep this in mind. Now, the other thing here is that if we press the 7 key, press the 9 key, you'll notice that when the fingers bend, go ahead and look at the bottom of your own hand. You will notice that the fingers are going to bend on these crease marks, but they're not going to bend on this crease mark. They're actually going to bend from here, right? Because this is where the knuckle is, right? So it's really just the skin fold that gives you the illusion that the finger is actually bending from here. So keep this in mind. So anyways, now that we have this, what we need to do is actually press the shift key down and make sure that all these bones are selected. Go ahead and switch to pose mode and then do shift H to hide everybody. And go ahead and switch to edit mode. Now, what we're going to do is go ahead and adjust the position of these finger bones. So we have to do the middle mouse button and basically look at the bone, right? Align the bones so you're basically looking at them directly from the bottom. Don't do it this way. It has to be just like this. So go ahead and click on this joint over here, press the G key, and just right now position it like this. And remember, you're going to have to do this a few times to get it right. And I'm of course going to click on this joint and go ahead and move this. Now remember, the reason we selected the palm bone along with these is because if this bone was hidden, we were not get the ability to click on this joint. Now that we've kind of adjusted this over here, we're going to press the 1 key and go ahead and do the same thing. Look at this finger from here, just see how this should be. So of course this, I'm just going to click on this with my right mouse button and just move it and give it a little bit of a curve over here. So it has this curve over here. Now in order to check if we did the right thing, we of course have to switch to pose mode. Go ahead and click on the figure, press the shift key down and click on the armature again. Now do Control P, and we're going to do with automatic weights. Remember, every time we do with automatic weights, it's just going to reassign all the vertex groups again. We have to do this every time we adjust the position of the mouse. Now all we have to do is press the R key, press the X key 2 times, and just make sure that it's working. Yep, that works. Press the R key, press the X key 2 times. This works. And over here, press the R key, press the X key 2 times. This also works. Okay? That's what you're looking for. You just want it to bend, and that's it. So that was pretty straightforward. So here I'm just going to press the A key to select everything, do Alt R, A to deselect. Now, let's go ahead and do Alt H to bring everybody back. Go ahead and switch to edit mode, do Alt H to bring everybody back. Now click on this palm bone, press the shift key down, this one, this one, this one. Do Shift H to hide everybody. Go ahead and switch to pose mode. Do Shift H to hide everybody. Go ahead and switch to edit mode. Let's do the same thing. Press the 7 key, press the 9 key. So here I'm going to do the same thing. Zoom in and just align it so I can see what's going on. Kind of like this. Go ahead and click this, move it around over here, and move this over here. And I'm just going to adjust this a little bit over here. And of course, press the 1 key. And now we're just going to align it so we can see what's going on. So of course we have to click over here and kind of put it right here. Like so. Again, same thing, switch to pose mode, click on it, press the shift key down, click on the armature, do Control P with automatic weights. Go ahead and click this, press the R key, press the X key 2 times, just bend it, press the R key, press the X key, bend it, press the R key, press the X key 2 times, and bend it, and just examine. Notice that it's working nicely, looks good to me. Okay, pretty straightforward process. Select everything, do Alt R to reset everything. Do Alt H to bring everybody back. Go ahead and go to edit mode. Do Alt H to bring everybody back. Let's do the same thing for these bones over here. Do a Shift H, switch to pose mode, do Shift H, switch back to edit mode. Press the 7 key, press the 9 key. Let's take a look at this now. We're going to just align the bone over here so we can see. Go ahead and click this, position it like this. And here I'm just going to kind of position this and make it nice and neat. Press the 1 key, and actually I'm going to do Control 1 to go to the other side and just look at it from this point over here. Okay, so I definitely need to move this up, move this up, move this down a bit so I get a curve. Go ahead and switch to pose mode, click on the figure, press the shift key down, click on the armature, do Control P with automatic weights. Go ahead and click, press the R key, press the X key 2 times, bend it. Press the R key, press the X key 2 times, bend it. Press the R key, press the X key 2 times, and bend it. So here I'm just going to look at this, and that looks good to me. Over here, notice over here that the Z-axis are still pointing down. The bone rolls, that's very important. The bone rolls have to always point down on these. Do Alt-R to reset this. Let's do Alt-H to bring everybody back. Go ahead and switch to edit mode. Do Alt-H to bring everybody back. A to deselect. And over here, going to do the same thing. Do Shift-H. Go ahead and switch to pose mode. Do Shift-H. Go ahead and switch to edit mode. Click on these fingers. Press the 7 key. Press the 9 key. Now over here, we're going to adjust this over here so we can see this. Align it. So over here, I'm just going to position this like this, position this like this, and this one I'm going to actually just position it a little bit, and this one I'm going to move this. Now do Control 1. Let's take a look at align the bone so we can see what's going on. Over here we need to give it a little bit of a curve, really important. Select curve, and let's see how this one works. Let's go ahead and switch to pose mode. Click on the figure, press the shift key down, click on the armature, do Control P with automatic weights. Go ahead and press the R key, press the X key 2 times, just bend it a little bit. Press the R key, press the X key 2 times, bend it. Press the R key, press the X key 2 times, and bend it. And just examine that finger is bending correctly. Okay, do Alt R to reset the rotation. I'm just going to select everything, do Alt R, do Alt H to bring everybody back over here. Okay, that's a pretty straightforward process. Now the other thing that I like to do is actually press the 7 key, and I'm just going to adjust the palm bones a bit. Go ahead and just do edit mode and do Alt H to make sure this is all back. Let's click over here. I'm just going to position them so they look a little neater. Over here, just going to look at them. Now go ahead and click on all these palm bones. Do Shift H. Go ahead and switch to pose mode. Do Shift H. And here I'm just going to now start adjusting the bone rolls. Go ahead and now just look at this over here. What I like to do is give this sort of a curve. So I'm going to look at this bone. Again, just align it like this. So the circle is basically in the center over here. So here I'm going to click on this and actually just twist it a little bit so it's curved. Now I'm going to click on this bone over here. I might have to rotate this to select it. Do the same thing, kind of put the circle right in the center and align it over here. This looks fine. Let's look at this bone over here. It's fine. Let's look at this bone over here. Now this definitely needs to be adjusted like this. Okay, so here I'm just going to look at this whole thing like so. Now you'll notice that when we look at it this way, see how the tail is? So here I'm just going to move this up, give it a nice curve. I'm going to click on this and flip it down. Maybe move this up a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to do Alt H to bring everybody back, and it's a good idea to always click on X-ray so you can see what's going on. Okay, so we can see that this over here is coming out. Now remember, this thing over here means nothing. It's really the point, that vertex. So if we click on X-ray, right, remember I already explained this to you. It has to do with the peeking out of this. So one thing that you can do is kind of maybe move this down a bit. Press the G key just a little bit over here. Maybe move it down. So I'm just going to look at this a little bit more till I'm satisfied. Now, just going to make sure that the bone rolls are correct. The Z is pointing down. This is correct. The Z is pointing down for all of these. Yep, this is correct. The Z is pointing down for all of these. This is correct. And over here, take a look at this. The Z is pointing down for all of these. Okay, press the 7 key, A key to deselect. Okay, that's fine. Now, let's take a look at the thumb. Now, the quickest way to do this is just simply click over here, okay? And just to make your life easy, just to Control R and position the Z down. We can always position this later, okay? So we can test the bending. So here we're going to do the same thing. So what we need to do is actually first align it like this, the bones. And simply just move this a bit over here and move it where this joint is. So you can see what's going on. And here I'm just going to look at the thumb this way over here a little bit. This of course needs to go up. Notice that how I'm aligning these bones with my view. Okay, now go ahead and switch to pose mode. Do Alt H to bring everybody back. A to deselect. Go ahead and click on the armature. To figure in the armature, do Control P with automatic weights. Click on this thumb, press the R key, press the X key to make sure that it's bending over here. Press the R key, press the X key to make sure this is bending. You have to kind of twist it around to see that everything is working. Press the X key, and this is bending. Okay, so here I'm going to do Alt R to reset. I'm going to actually adjust this a little bit more. I'm just going to click on the head of this bone and bring it in a bit more. Go ahead and switch to pose mode. Do this again. Select the figure, select the armature, do Control P with automatic weights. Click on this one, press the R key, press the X key to make sure that it's bending the other way. And that's it. Okay, so just do Alt R to reset everything. And let's go ahead and switch to edit mode. And of course, we have to adjust the bone rolls. Actually, let's do it one bone at a time. So over here, I'm going to make sure that over here, when I'm looking at this bone, I want to make sure that it's just V-shape. V-shape meaning that based on what the position of the nail is. See, the Z is basically pointing down. Over here, same thing over here. Let's just roll this. You kind of have to average out their curved based on the curved position. And over here, I'm just going to do the same thing, kind of like this. Again, any of these can be adjusted later. The bone rolls. Okay, so now when we switch to pose mode, we don't have to click on this, press the Shift key down and click on the armature and then do Control P with automatic weights. You don't have to do that if you're only adjusting the bone rolls. You only have to do this if you adjust the position of the bones. Okay, so I'm just going to click it anyways. And that's it. Now select everything, do Alt R to reset everything. Press the 1 key, do Shift C, control middle mouse button, zoom in, and go ahead and save your file, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Actually, go ahead and save it.